This is CBC Here and Now.
He put the sign on the door that said we're locking it in 3 hours.
He never had an occupancy permit to occupy the building. He never had a building permit for the work that was done inside.
You know, I have to say it's quite embarrassing.
Tenants threatened with eviction from a downtown building.
All because a St. John's councillor doesn't have the proper permits. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes. A notice on the front door of a building in downtown St. John's sparked a crisis among the dozens of tenants there.
The Scotch-taped note warned that locks are changing and that everyone must be out by 5 o'clock. Now, that notice was clear, but understanding just how it got there, well, that depends on who you speak with. Here Now's Mark Quinn is live at that building tonight. Mark.
Yes, Anthony, of course, this is the Neil building behind me in downtown St. John's, where dozens of people got that bad news. Bad news that they thought meant they'd have to find a new place to set up. Neil building looks like a beacon or a lighthouse, but yesterday the mood here was very dark. This notice posted on the front door gave everyone about 3 hours to get out. Shocking news for more than 24 businesses, organizations, and artists.
Small businesses, so this is affecting families. A lot of us, this is our only source of income, and now what do we do?
Today, building owner Vic Lawler says they don't have to worry.
I know it's hard on the tenants, but in no way do I want them to leave.
Lawler says his problem is with the former leaseholder here, Dave Lane Consulting, the same Dave Lane who's a St. John's City councillor.
Mr. Lane never provided me with any insurance. He never had an occupancy permit to occupy the building. He never had a building permit for the work that was done inside.
Lawler says the building is riddled with problems and it isn't safe to leave it open. For his part, Lane admits that as a city councillor, he should know more than most people what permits are required.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I definitely should have known about. And, you know, I have to say it's quite embarrassing.
However, Lane doesn't believe that Lawler's concern for tenants is really sincere.
He put the sign on the door that said we're locking it in 3 hours, and I don't think that's appropriate, and it was unnecessary, but it's a fight that he has with the city, and he's using me as a part of that, I guess.
Lawler's company does own a group of buildings in this area, and he says there has been some friction with the city, but he says the Neil building has nothing to do with that.
No, I don't think so. Like, myself and the city have disputes, but if you talk about any developer in the city, they've all had disputes. This is, like, I don't think it's anything to do with the city.
Now, of course, it is a tangly story, but the good news is I spoke with some of the tenants in this building who were very stressed out yesterday, and today they say they're feeling better. And I was there when they spoke with Vic Lawler, and he told them that he hopes to have them back in this building in a few days or so, and he also said he promised he wouldn't raise their rent, and I have that on tape. So live in St. John's, I'm Mark Quinn for Here and Now.
Well, a political standoff in the town of Northern Arm is getting nastier, and now the provincial government is considering whether it should step in. The stalemate has former councillors on the offensive and the mayor digging in his heels. Here Now's Garrett Barry has been following the story blow by blow. So Garrett, how deep is the division?
I think it's fair to say that the fight here goes back for months, and it's been a pretty active one. This town has already seen a mass resignation from its town council, and there have also been multiple accusations of conflict of interest. The latest turn is a petition signed by town residents to have the entire council dissolved.
The present Northern Arm Council is very dysfunctional.
Almost 200 signatures, or so they say, which would cover a majority of eligible voters.
That told us that the community totally believes that this council is dysfunctional.
He says he knows firsthand and has got the records to prove it.
To try and resolve the issues. The situation has gotten worse.
He stepped down from council in September, and just last month, another resignation.
I didn't step up to the plate to be called a liar. I've never lied in my life.
They point their finger at the mayor. The mayor points right back.
He's the one that turned off. He's the one that went rebellious. He's the one that cut off all contact with everybody and started accusing them, as you can see in the letter there.
Oh yeah, he's got letters too.
It says here, we now have 6 councillors.
As for the petition, he's not buying it.
We have not seen it. We don't know who those 180 people were. We don't know if they if they signed it or not, if they knocked on the doors or not. They never knocked on this door.
So he's got no plans to step aside. It comes down to this: do the majority of people in this community want the council to be dissolved or not?
I don't think so. Not for a minute. You know what? We have not had one complaint from a member of this community at that town hall. Not one.
It's a small town, but the stakes and the emotions are high.
The downside, sir, you're gradually going to see people leave this town because there's no incentive for people to come here. I'm hearing that now. I've got several people call me.
Okay, so Garrett, how does this conflict get resolved?
Well, we do know, the Department of Municipal Affairs is watching. We know, for example, that they have sent representatives out, and the minister of the department has also visited. And we got a statement from the department this week, and it said that the department has the right to step in and does have the right to shut down the council if an inspector finds that the affairs of the municipal authority are managed in an irregular or improper manner. Now, a spokesperson for the department told us it's now considering whether to order that formal inspection that would be required, and it's going to let the town of Northern Arm know about its decision soon. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Garrett Barry in Gander.
There is no dream that is too big.
A message of perseverance. In about 50 minutes, we'll take you to Labrador, where Jacob Barker brings you the story of a young, optimistic man from the United States who's bringing hope to the big land.
Well, I wanted to share a pretty interesting photo that was sent to me a couple of hours ago. This is the cloud formations that come off the long-range mountains when we have a rec house event, and that's exactly what's happening right now. He says it changes by minute, and if we take a look at what the winds are right now, they're really ramping up. 165 km/h gust was just recorded, and they're going to do even more so as we head through the night tonight. We could see gusts near 180 km/h. That's because our next system is obviously just on the doorstep. We're going to see strong winds along the west coast and then spread along Newfoundland as well. A number of warnings in place across the province with those wind warnings, and then in behind this system, it's going to cool down, and we've got some snow squall warnings already in place along the west coast with watches as we head towards the inland. But I'll have all those details, your full forecast coming up. Anthony?
Thank you, Ashley. Industry is weighing in on the renewed Atlantic Accord. Politicians and the economists, they have offered their analysis of that deal. Well, now oil and business associations are focused on just what's going to happen next. Here now's Katie Breen joins us live from the newsroom tonight. So, Katie, people who are part of the Offshore Industry Association, they've had 2 days now to examine this deal. What are they saying about it?
Well, that group is most interested in the joint management part of this deal. Canada and the province work together to manage the offshore, but now, as part of this deal, the sides are required to come together to discuss development and environmental protection. Noya says when the province has a greater say in the offshore, it's more efficient and there's better clarity and certainty for investors. CEO Charlene Johnson says she's meeting with government next week to discuss what exactly the joint management talks will cover. She's hoping they'll address environmental assessments and how long they're taking. A group hired by Noya is currently comparing timelines from here and elsewhere.
We're looking at Norway, the UK, Australia. The timelines there are far less than they are here. And again, it's not a final report. Early indications are we are 4 to 5, even greater than that in terms of the timelines to get through an environmental assessment process. So hopefully, through greater strengthening, deepening of joint management, we can really address that.
Guaranteed revenue is also part of this deal, $2.5 billion over 38 years. Now, Johnson hopes some of that will go into offshore explorations, or at least incentives in that regard, but that's not what the St. John's Board of Trade thinks.
We continue to have a huge spending problem in this province. In fact, we spend more per capita by far than any other province in the country. We also generate the most revenue per capita. So this is not a license to the province to open up the public purse in any way, shape, or form. It needs to go down on debt reduction.
So they're covering the money and the joint management. The other key part of this is rate mitigation. As part of the deal, Canada has committed to come and look at Muskrat Falls financing, to look at ways to keep electricity rates affordable. And all that starts on Friday when Federal Finance Minister Bill Morneau comes here to the province to meet with Ball. Live in the newsroom, I'm Katie Breen for Here and Now.
So I want to invite my good friend, Minister Seamus O'Regan, to the podium. Seamus.
Dwight, boy, for you, Premier, the kettle is always on.
Between the Premier and Liberal MP Seamus O'Regan Monday night at the Sheraton in St. John's.
And tonight it gets more serious as the Premier responds to critics of the renewed accord. Dwight Ball joins us live in 20 minutes.
Well, NL Alliance still doesn't have official party status, but the province's newest political organization is calling for candidates in the upcoming general election. Alliance leader Graydon Pelley says his party's application is with Elections NL, and they have the okay to put candidates in place. He's expecting to receive party status in a few weeks. During his call for nominations, Pelley announced he'll be running in Mount Scio, a seat presently held by independent Dale Kirby, who's a former Liberal and former NDP MHA. Since Confederation, a half dozen or so parties in the province have come and gone. Pelley says he's offering an alternative.
We said to the people of this province, when we announced NL Alliance, we felt that the people of the province, and through conversations we have had with them, we have felt that the people of the province have lost their voice when it comes to politics and the political system in our province. The party system is no longer serving the people of Newfoundland and Labrador the way they need it to.
Ron Ellsworth is fighting for his reputation. He claims that Ann Squires, the real estate agent facing fraud charges, hit him up for money. Ellsworth's claim is laid out in some court documents. CBC Investigates producer Rob Antle untangles that story for you now.
It's an honorable opportunity to serve your community.
Ron Ellsworth says goodbye to City Council after his election loss in 2017. A loss that came after a year of controversy. In 2016, Ann Squires of Exit Realty on the Rock sued Ellsworth, alleging that he charged her a criminal interest rate on a loan, a controversy that Ellsworth now blames for contributing to his defeat at the polls.
It's had an impact on his reputation.
And Ellsworth is hitting back with some allegations of his own. He's not speaking, but his lawyer is.
And Mr. Ellsworth felt, in my view and my understanding, felt it was important for the court to understand the sort of detrimental impact this whole scenario has had on him personally.
Ellsworth outlined that impact in a sworn affidavit filed a few months back. Ellsworth claims Squires made a proposal to his business partner that she would not go public with allegations that would harm Ellsworth's reputation if Ellsworth agreed to pay her $38,000. Ellsworth refused, and Squires sued him a month later. He says the allegations have hurt his work with community groups and his career, and says, "I believe Ms. Squires was attempting to leverage my position as deputy mayor against me in order to obtain a cash settlement in her favor." Squires replied in an email to CBC News. In response to Mr. Ellsworth's position as deputy mayor or realtor position being compromised, it's immaterial to me what he does professionally or personally. I am solely looking for a refund of the exorbitant criminal rate of interest dollars that he charged over and above the permissible amount.
Ellsworth says there's been no evidence filed backing up Squires' claims, and she has no standing to file the lawsuit. He wants the case tossed out. Squires says there is evidence, emails and canceled checks, and she's just trying to get money that she believes she's owed. Later this month, the matter will be here at Supreme Court, where a judge will try to sort it out. Rob Antle, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, it might look like something out of a newfangled movie.
But firefighters at St. John's International Airport say their new state-of-the-art truck is well worth the hefty price tag.
Now, this $1 million fire truck designed to fight airplane fires is the latest addition to the fleet, rolling in on 4-foot-high tires. The new rig comes with some fancy new features.
Yes, the truck can hold 6,000 liters of water, 750 liters of firefighting foam, and 225 kilograms of a dry chemical agent similar to what you'd find in a fire extinguisher. The fire department says it plans to purchase 2 more of these trucks in the coming years.
The advantage of this truck compared to a municipal fire truck is that it can pump and roll. We can drive around an aircraft or any sort of fire and discharge water and foam while the truck is going 100 kilometers an hour or 20 kilometers per hour. This truck drives like a car even at 100 kilometers an hour. The bumper turret, when it deploys, can actually go right down to the ground for wheel and brake fire or low engine fires.
The remote control toy version.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, very good.
From Nigeria to the 709, we'll meet a young fashion designer who's making his mark on his new home.
There is no dream that is too big. You can.
Welcome back.
A big fighter is in the big land this week with a big message. Frank Shamrock is a former mixed martial arts champion with the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and Shamrock spent much of his youth as a troubled kid, abused by parents, and he was in and out of foster care and eventually spent some time in jail.
But now he's bringing his story of inspiration to Sheshatshiu and Natwashish in communities which have a disproportionate number of children in foster care. Here Now's Jacob Barker has that story.
There is no dream that is too big. You can literally achieve anything.
It's a strong statement for these youth to hear in a community where a lot of them know someone in foster care. Shamrock can relate.
When I was in high school, I was in a continuation high school because I was awarded the state. I'd left my home when I was 11.
The Californian describes himself as a child with emotional issues, unable to communicate.
So I would see all these doctors and psychiatrists and psychologists because they were all trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And it turns out that it was the abuse that was happening in my home. that was wrong with me.
A child whose upbringing was not normal.
When I went home and I got in trouble, my mom would lock me in a closet for hours and hours at a time. And as a little boy, it was just really terrifying.
Shamrock eventually ended up in jail, but he persevered.
Frank Shamrock and Conley!
And went on to start a professional fighting career after he got out. He was famous, the first ever middleweight champion of the UFC. Now he wants these kids to know they can do it too.
And if it's something you really believe in, you will accomplish it, and you will inspire and bring a whole community with you as you go on that journey.
A message that resonated with some of the young people in the room.
I've been kind of through the same, but not the whole thing, but you know, I understand how it is living that kind of life. And I'm asking a lot of questions because I see how he lived, and I want to make it, you know, and get out of this town.
It's tough because, you know, the difference here between California, besides from the snow and whatnot, is obviously the limited resources and whatnot. So it creates another barrier, but still, like, the kids here are great and they're capable of great things if they put their mind to it, like Frank said.
Shamrock says he was able to break a cycle of abuse in his world through education and fighting. Now he hopes he's helping give these kids some of that fighting spirit, no matter what they're up against. Jacob Barker, CBC News, Shahajit.
Oh, nice.
Quite the story.
Yeah. Wonderful. And I guess that area of Labrador is going to be hit with some pretty nasty weather along with some other areas.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to start to see that snow move in tonight, but we're already starting to see the effects of this system. If we take a look at the satellite and radar, down through the southwestern portion of the island, that snow has already quickly changed over to freezing rain, and that's going to continue to track a little bit further north as we head through the night tonight, along with the potential for some snow up through Labrador. Not the potential, it's going to happen, and it's going to get heavier as we head through the night tonight. You can see that rain and potential for freezing rain moving through central portions as well. And for the island, it looks like it should just stay as rain. But those southeasterly winds are going to stay strong tonight and then quickly change over to southwesterlies by the time early tomorrow morning rolls around. So those strong winds that we're seeing right now through the Wreck House area with gusts near 180 kilometers per hour should go below that, about 100 kilometers per hour, but they're still going to stay strong tomorrow. So taking a look at the watches and warnings, a number of watches and warnings across Labrador. Lab City sitting under a blowing snow advisory, wind warning for the Churchill Valley. And then towards Happy Valley, Goose Bay, snowfall warning along the coast, either blowing snow or winter storm warnings right now. That just changed. I wouldn't be surprised to see some blizzard conditions along with this, but then as we head towards the island, wind warnings all along the coast and then towards eastern Newfoundland as well. Wind gusts tonight, especially for areas prone to southeasterlies. You could see gusts near 150 kilometers per hour tonight. Otherwise, we're looking at between 100 and 110 as we head towards the Avalon and the northeast coast as well. Now, in tomorrow, I mentioned that we're going to see things quickly change back over to snow. So we have snow squall warnings already in place along the west coast with snow squall watches towards the interior and down through Burgeo. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some snow squalls even making their way towards further east. Here's a look at your forecast. Temperatures are going to climb as you head towards the morning hours, anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees. So we could see that potential to start as freezing rain, but will quickly change over to rain. And again, very strong southeasterly winds through the night tonight. Up through Labrador, between 20 to 30 centimeters, especially inland along the straits. And then those winds will shift from south to southeasterly or easterlies along the coast. But those temperatures sitting between -2 and -6 as you head towards Labrador City. Again, between 10 to 15 centimeters for Happy Valley, Goose Bay by tomorrow morning. That system doesn't move much. It skirts a little bit further north, but in behind that, we're going to see those winds pick right back up again for Labrador. And because of that, along the west coast, that's why we're seeing that potential for squalls. You can see the potential for squalls making its way all the way towards the Avalon as well through the day tomorrow. And you're not really going to see much relief up through Labrador, at least until Friday, it looks like. So here's a quick accumulation. Somewhere between 20 to 30 centimeters is a good bet everywhere across Labrador, except around Lab City. You're going to sit closer 10 to 15 centimeters. And then significant snowfall in some of these squalls is possible along the west coast. This takes us through to Friday morning. Could see 20 to 30 centimeters. So quickly looking at the forecast tomorrow, your temperatures, this will be your highs in the morning, and then they're going to drop through the day tomorrow. We could see a mix of sun, or likely we'll see a mix of sun and cloud for eastern portions. Grand Falls winds are 3 degrees tomorrow, 5 for Gander with a mix of sun and cloud. There's your snow squalls hovering around 0 to -1, and then up through the northern peninsula, same thing. Another 10 plus centimeters for parts of the Straits, and then even more snow up through Labrador. Mild though, between 0 and -3 as your daytime high. So let's look at your forecast. We'll look ahead because the snow isn't going anywhere when I come back.
This weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. Bonus deadline is midnight, Friday, April 5th. Order now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
Well, it's 3 little numbers that represent Newfoundland and Labrador to the world. Now, a young man from Nigeria is using those numbers to represent himself and his business. Sylvester Edmond is a creative force behind 709 Supply Co. It's a clothing company that Edmond hopes will keep people looking good and keep him here. Zach Gowdy has that story.
It's a cool day in downtown St. John's, but these models are looking cooler. And with these clothes, they don't have to try too hard.
I like to have the denim jacket on.
Working behind the scenes is clothing designer Sylvester Edmond, creative director of 709 Supply Co.
Well, we just came to have a photo shoot for the new collection. So we just got a bunch of models and take some nice pictures, basically to showcase what the new collection looks like and to put it out there.
Edmond is about to put himself out there as he tries to build his brand and build a home.
Nice. Oh, this is beautiful.
Earlier at his apartment, Edmond's latest designs have arrived fresh from the printers.
It feels amazing. It feels good knowing that it actually came out well. And with this new collection, we actually want it to be subtle and loud at the same time.
Born in Nigeria, Edmond came to St. John's to study economics at Memorial University, but he always had a passion for fashion.
During my 3rd year, a friend of mine at the time, we identified that there was a gap in the streetwear brand in the province. So we decided to take the bold step and start a clothing brand back when I was in school.
Though still a newcomer, Edmond wanted his brand to represent Newfoundland and Labrador. That's when he thought of a symbol that was dialed in.
I feel like when people associate with the brand, when they wear the clothes, they're able to feel that it's a piece of Newfoundland. It's something that originated from Newfoundland that involves community, music, that involves the lifestyle in the province. And I feel like it's something that would be able to also play itself out of the province. So it's not just for Newfoundlanders, it's something people across the country, across the world will be able to associate with. So basically giving a piece of Newfoundland to all over the world.
His early designs put an urban spin on the local area code. But to finish his degree, Edmond had to put the brand on the back burner.
This is the Royal Ox Blood.
Now he's done school and trying to design the next phase of his life, a life he wants to continue in the 709.
I've been here over 7 years. I know a lot of places. I've been across the province, visited a lot of historic sites here in the province, and it's come to become a second home to me.
So, where's it at?
This time, Edmond is ready to follow his fashion dreams. He came up with a fresh look, spent some cash on printing, and now has a new collection ready to launch.
It's a good style for the community, kind of like support the place, the island.
I think it's really cool. Like, they're killing it, the way they brand themselves.
Yeah, I think they conduct their photo shoots really well too, and everything looks really aesthetically pleasing. Like, if you look at them online, it's like, oh, I'd wear that. It looks really good. So they're doing good.
It's really professional and also just laid back.
Edmond knows fashion isn't an easy business, and it's not an easy time to carve out a life in this province. But he also knows he's come a long way, and 709 looks too good to look back.
It's a thing of beauty, thing of joy. The fact that they like it, it's something that really makes me happy and just keeps me motivated.
Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, just ahead, Premier Dwight Ball is in our studio to respond to criticisms about the Atlantic Accord.
Welcome back to Here and Now. We're going to discuss the renewed Atlantic Accord, a 38-year-long deal worth $2.5 billion with the man who signed that on Monday. Premier Dwight Ball joins us in the studio. Good evening, Premier.
Good evening.
Glad you could come in. First, let's start with the former Premier who inked the original deal, Brian Peckford, and what he had to say on Here and Now last night.
The first thing I think that any Newfoundlander or Labradorian reading this deal would say, what? Not another fixed term. Here we have a fixed term of 37 years, out to 2057. That, right away, is a red flag. What we should have negotiated was a floor where we couldn't get less, but we had the opportunity to get more if the federal government got more.
Mr. Ball, I don't expect you to agree with Brian Peckford, but can you see his point that, the history of the Churchill long-term agreement, we're going to pay off Muskrat Falls for 50 years, now this. Do you see where he's coming from?
Not really, because what he should have done was actually give me a call. It's very unusual for a former Premier and myself to come out, but I felt compelled. I remember '86, it was a great day for Newfoundland and Labrador, as was 2005. So these are moments that I remember, but for me to speak out today about this, it's really, I think by his own admission, Peckford had said that he really didn't read the deal or spend much time with it. So if you look at today's oil price, if we had signed a deal based on Peckford's deal, we would have gotten $1.3 billion plus the risk and decommissioning that would have been associated with that. So we would have left $2 billion on the table and assumed the liabilities that went with operations of that field. So we took $3.3 billion of guaranteed income and no risk. And so, we're in a much better position today. And I really need to talk to the guy.
Well, the way, I'll try to do that, but,
Sure.
but the way you cut up the math, I mean, $3.3 billion, but we're going to pay back $800 million down at the other end. But if you do the average, so 66, 68 million front loaded and all that,
Sure.
He says, it's chicken feed in a way. And I wonder, you sort of think about the size of our deficit. What is it now, 600 million? The debt's at 13 billion. I mean, is $66, $68 million a year, is that a good deal in your mind?
Well, this is one agreement of many that would need to be done, but we started out this negotiation around joint management and principal beneficiary. This is what the accord is all about. And so we've taken that a long ways. We are now a joint beneficiary by signing this deal. We have a guaranteed revenue stream, no risk. When we went looking here, we needed balance. We know, as you just mentioned, the fiscal situation of our province. So we needed and wanted some guaranteed revenue. If we had taken the risk that Brian or Peckford is talking about, we would have taken on significant risk. That field right now is an old field. 40 million barrels is the reserve that's left. That means it's valued at $1.3 billion today. So for us to take on that deal, this field would have nearly had to double over between now and its finalization of that deal.
But is that the trade-off, though? You get stability for a quarter century, roughly, or a bit more, in exchange for, okay, if oil were to hit 150 or something in the future, then is that the trade-off?
Well, in the first 11 years, when you think about it, this is a declining field. The evaluation on that field right now would be 40 million barrels. It's produced a lot of oil already, so that field would nearly have to double to get to $3.3 billion in value, and that would have to happen quickly because we get $1.9 billion out of this in the first 11 years.
Right.
So the longer out you go, the less opportunity, as you know, once you're depleting an oil field. So this is a great deal for our province. It's been a great week for our province. No risk, great balance. It's something that we needed at this time.
If it's a great deal, as you put it, Premier, where are the third-party endorsements of this? Who other than Liberals think this is a great deal?
Well, there's, this is a complicated, agreement that we've signed here because it's based on the 8.5% shares of Hibernia. It's about being the principal beneficiary. There's 40 million. That 8.5% is worth about 40 million barrels of oil.
The question, though, the Board of Trade, NOIA, where are the cheerleaders one would expect? Because the last two times in the history of this province where there's been this kind of announcement, everybody was, okay, this is a great deal. So where are those voices now?
Well, I have not talked to those folks. If they wanted to come in for us to explain this deal, it is a great deal. It is a guaranteed revenue stream of $2.5 billion. There's no risk for us. It balances out the portfolios that we already have. And so for us, I think anybody that would look at this,
Right.
given the situation we were into and the negotiation that we had, would have taken this deal, including Brian Pickford.
You expect those voices to come forward eventually?
Absolutely. If they want to come in so we can explain this deal to them, we're more than willing to do this. This is a great deal for Newfoundland and Labrador. It gives us deep and joint management that we haven't had before. It gives us arbitration clauses that we didn't have before. It also provides some certainty in the offshore field that we haven't had before, which is what the industry is looking for.
One political critical question has to do with, did you have to go through this quickly so Dwight Ball would have something to campaign on?
No, not at all. We started this process a year ago when I first wrote the letter to Prime Minister Trudeau at the time, and on February the 22nd, we agreed to get this done by March the 31st, and we were able to do that. That's not to say this wasn't a tense negotiation. There are times it certainly was. We came out of this with a guaranteed revenue stream. At today's value, this field would be worth $1.3 billion. Peckford would have left $2 billion on the table and assumed too much risk for this province.
Okay, Bill Morneau, the federal finance minister, is here on Friday. I wish we had time to get into that, but I have a feeling, Premier, that we're going to be speaking very frequently in the next 2 months.
I certainly hope so, Anthony. I always enjoy getting the chance to speak with your listeners and clarifying some of the points like we did here tonight.
All right, Premier Ball, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Officers from across Canada are in St. John's for a national curling championship. But it's not just about the competition, it's also about camaraderie and raising money for a special cause. The Canadian Police Curling Championships is happening in St. John's this week, and officers from right across the country are in town to compete. Not just police, but all kinds of peace officers like corrections and conservation. It's about more than just competition and bragging rights. They're also raising money for Tourette Canada. We caught up with the host chair of the tournament to hear more.
We're here now, it's the 64th running of the Canadian Police Curling Championships. It was started in 1955 by the Canadian Associations of Chiefs of Police. Because back then, there was no emails or Blackberries, so they wanted to come up with a concept where police officers could speak to each other, collaborate. So the concept they came up with was, let's start a curling championships so our officers can meet, get to meet face to face, under the pretense of good sport and under curling, but the deeper root cause was so that when you picked up the phone and you called, you needed to get information from a policing perspective, you knew somebody to ask for on the other end of the line, from BC to Alberta to Newfoundland. So that was the concept, that was the purpose behind it to begin with. Crime has no borders, so the networking capacity that this curling created has been incredibly beneficial to all police officers, and I can speak from that firsthand. What happens on ice is the reason why we're here, but what happens off the ice is the core of who we are. And like I said, each one of these officers, me personally, you know, I can travel, I've said this the other day, I could get aboard my truck and drive from St. John's to BC and back and not have to stay in the same house twice because of the friendships and the camaraderie that this really brings right across the country in the policing fraternity. This event is the third oldest continuous sporting event, curling event in Canada, which is pretty impressive. So Tourette Canada is a charity of choice, but they're more than a charity, they're really partners with us. They don't get a lot of funding nationally, so you know, it's something that our officers need to know about so they can do their job better. For example, if a teenager, mostly, you know, anybody will manifest different type of Tourette, but some of it is when they get excited or anxiety, they can become somewhat aggressive. They could be shouting uncontrollably, and instead of thinking this person may be under drugs or alcohol, you know, the officers are trained to take a second sober look at what's actually happening in front of them, and this person may actually be manifesting or something that's uncontrollable and natural for this individual. And there's techniques, calming techniques that our officers are told about, where they can assess the situation better and be able to de-escalate the situation better, so that nothing, you know, the situation is resolved without any type of, you know, infraction or incident. So it's been a really good, positive, win-win situation for police and anybody in the community who has Tourette, because it manifests itself in so many different ways.
A new real-time tracking system locates planes anywhere in the world.
Next, find out about the connection to the Air Traffic Control Center in Gander.
Well,
Messy weather on the way.
Yes, but I can't believe how sunny it's been of late.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that great?
It has been. It's been very nice the last little bit.
I mean, before Ashley Downer takes us down, I just thought I'd like to bask in the sun.
It was gorgeous this morning out walking the dogs. It was nice.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, once we get this rain out of the way tomorrow, it doesn't look too bad.
Okay.
But as we head towards Friday, you know, mix of sun and cloud, but things are going to get cooler. So if we take a look at the future tracker, we are looking at that potential for some flurries through the day on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud generally. And then eventually we'll see some clearing skies. And then the good news up through Labrador is the winds will eventually start to ease, which is nice. And then eventually that snow will also taper off as that low tracks further offshore. But in behind this, again, some lingering snow squall activity expected right through the afternoon on Friday, and then clearing skies, it looks like. So taking a look at the temperatures, as I mentioned, a little cooler, so sitting anywhere between -2 and 1 degree above zero through the day on Friday. A mix of sun and cloud towards, or at least along the northeast coast, down along the Burin, for the Burin Peninsula as well as the Avalon, but can't rule out the chance of a few flurries nonetheless. And then up through Labrador, still sitting around the mid-minus single digits. Same for Lab City with that potential for some flurries. Clearing skies will happen though, starting in the morning and then eventually by the evening and overnight hours. I still have some snow and blowing snow in the forecast along the coast. Now, looking ahead into Saturday, mix of sun and cloud, it looks like, again, with more snow potential pushing through. This won't be significant by any means for parts of the eastern Newfoundland and the Avalon. Along the west coast, we could see, again, some enhancement from onshore flurries, but otherwise looking 2, maybe 4 centimeters of snow at the most. And then some flurries up through Labrador as well through the overnight. Into Sunday, generally going to see some clearing skies up through and along the west coast. Again, some onshore flurries expected. This because we're sitting under some cooler temperatures, so we'll see that potential for flurries. And then along the northeast coast as we head towards Monday. But in behind that, generally going to see some clearing skies. A little bit of a system off the coast could bring some snow along the northeast coast into Monday evening. But other than that, it looks quite nice. So here's a look at your forecast over the next 5 days. 5 degrees tomorrow in the morning. We'll see that potential for some drizzle or showers, and then clearing. Can't rule out the chance of a few squalls making their way through though either. Friday looks windy continuing, and then some sun and cloud to start the day on Saturday, and then we get into those cooler temperatures into the evening and overnight hours. We could see some flurries. Central Newfoundland generally gray right through Saturday. Windy conditions on Sunday, and then that flurry activity again on Monday thanks to a low just offshore. Western Newfoundland squalls right through Friday morning, and then flurries, it looks like, right into the beginning of next week. Again, those winds will pick up Sunday and the beginning of Monday. Eastern Labrador, 10 to 15 centimeters for Happy Valley Goose Bay. Towards the coast, it'll be more than that. And then windy conditions, breezy on Sunday. But your temperatures for Western Labrador, not too bad. -1 tomorrow, heading towards the end of the week, Sunday and Monday is where we're going to see those temperatures sitting between -7 and -3. So let's look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo when I come back. Carolyn?
Thanks, Ashley. Well, now to a story with a gander connection. It's been 5 years since a Malaysian Airlines flight went missing with 239 people on board. How the plane vanished is an aviation mystery, but yesterday in the U.S., a new surveillance system was officially unveiled. It promises to pinpoint any big passenger airline anywhere, anytime. The CBC's Ian Hanamansing has the details on this change and explains the connection to gander.
It may not look like it, but what's happening in this room, the Gander Newfoundland Air Traffic Control Center, is a historic advance for aviation.
RAFM 1815 Delta 33.
For the first time anywhere, these controllers know the exact location of all of the planes on these screens, even jets halfway across the Atlantic. You may be surprised by this, but international flights are often beyond the reach of ground radar stations. In those places, and that's about 70% of the world, the planes update their locations only every 10 to 15 minutes. And because of that lack of detail, flights are kept far apart in the sky, up to 160 kilometers.
Ignition. Liftoff of Falcon 9.
All of that changed with a series of SpaceX rocket launches, including this one last January, placing 66 satellites in low Earth orbit. Those satellites are powering a new navigation network called Arion, partly owned by Navcan, the company responsible for air traffic control in this country. With Arion, planes can automatically and continuously transmit their exact position, altitude, direction, speed, no matter where in the world they are. That stream of data is now being tested by controllers guiding planes across the North Atlantic.
You can't underestimate how important this is and how this changes how we will approach safe and efficient flight, not only in Canada, in Canadian airspace, but around the world.
Air traffic controllers can now reduce the separation between planes over the North Atlantic to just 25 kilometers. More efficient flight paths will save time and fuel. And it's not just people at Navcan, the part owner and early adopter, who are excited.
It's my opinion that this is as big of a change in aircraft tracking as radar was decades ago.
Howard Slutskin says beyond the benefits on routine flights, when things go wrong, precise tracking could be life or death.
If there's an emergency, search and rescue teams are going to be able to get there and know exactly where they're going, where before they were guessing in many cases. Time is of the essence always in search and rescue.
But even in tragedies like the Ethiopian Airlines crash, where there were no survivors, it was Arion that provided detailed information on the Boeing MAX 8's flight path that was available even before the data and the flight recorders would have been recovered. But it is the routine flights that carry the greatest benefit for this new system. Navcan estimates airlines will save about $400 in fuel for each transatlantic flight, and you can multiply that by up to 1,500 flights a day.
Amazing. That's the CBC's Ian Hanemansing. Well, in other news tonight, there are new Islamic laws today in Brunei. If you're caught having gay sex, you could be stoned to death. The small country is located in Southeast Asia. Its entire population is about the size of Halifax. But the anti-gay laws are sparking protest.
I still can't really fathom the idea of my country installing such horrific punishment for people just like me.
Celebrities including George Clooney, Elton John, and Ellen DeGeneres are also speaking out. They're calling for a boycott of 9 hotels with ties to the Sultan who rules the country.
A group of tourists in Iceland survived a once-in-a-lifetime experience when they had to flee a crashing iceberg. Check this out. So you see the ice cracking off there. It's been called breathtaking, but getting a chance to see this, of course, up close is fantastic, to see an iceberg cleave off and fall. Very rare, but these tourists are lucky to see it, and it turns out even luckier to actually escape that. As you see that person and the people in the bottom right of your screen getting away from there. The falling chunk was so big it set off that mini tidal wave, leaving that group scrambling for safety. And that's why people from the area always recommend watching from a much safer distance. Pretty lucky.
Well, here's a safe photo. A beautiful, I'm going to call this a creamsicle sunset.
Oh, I like that.
It looks
I thought it was a really nice shot of a bird.
I'm loving the colors in this photo. I'll tell you where it was taken and who took this great shot when we come back.
Okay, before we wrap up, going to take a moment to pat ourselves on the back, as well as our colleagues.
Yeah, the nominations for the Atlantic Journalism Awards are out, and CBC NL has been recognized for several items. Ryan Cook's story, a very serious one about a child pornography operation in the basement of a pizza place in St. John's. That work is up for an Enterprise Reporting Award. Our colleagues Gary Quigley, Peter Gullidge, and Sherry Vivian also worked on that story. Also, Zach Gowdy has been nominated for his item on the Sons of Aaron and their 50 years in the music business. And our very own Garrett Barry, who we saw on tonight, he has been nominated for his work overall during 2018.
Special congratulations also to our colleagues at CBC Radio. Ryan Cook, Ramona Deering, Sherry Vivian, and Peter Gullidge are nominated for their work on a series called Stealing Innocence. And morning show producer Caroline Hillier is nominated for her item called Storytime. The awards will be handed out in mid-May.
Yeah, exactly. So
nice.
Well done, everybody.
Yes. All right, so where was this beautiful picture taken?
Yeah, we'll take a look at that creamsicle sunset, and it was taken in Bonavista.
Beautiful
by Mark Gray. He sends us quite a few photos, and I had to share this one with you because I just loved the colors. And I did see the sunset recently out at Topsail Beach, and it was the same color. It's beautiful, yeah.
It does look like one of those creamsicles. Yeah. Looks a lot better than it tastes.
Yes. So if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us on the chat, NL photos.
Pure biased opinion of mine, but yeah.
.ca.
See ya.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.